Imagine living your entire life in a safe place with a home, family, routine, and a predictable future. And then, in the middle of the silence, a voice breaks through and says, "Leave your land, your relatives, and your father's house, and go to the land I will show you." There was no map, no explanation, no guarantees, only a promise. This is how the story of Abraham begins, the man who heard a voice in the desert and forever changed the history of faith. Before he was called Abraham, his name was Abram. He lived in Ur of the Chaldeans, one of the most advanced cities of the ancient world, filled with commerce, technology, and gods carved from stone. Abram was not a prophet, not a priest, not a spiritual leader. He was simply an ordinary man, already old, married to Sarai, a woman who was barren. In human terms, there was nothing extraordinary about him, yet he was exactly the man God chose to call. And the calling came without details. God did not explain the path, did not reveal the destination, did not say how long the journey would take. He only promised, "I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you, and through you all the families of the earth will be blessed." Abram could have ignored it. He could have stayed where he was. But he did something that changed everything. He believed. He got up, gathered his family and his possessions, and left without knowing where he was going, trusting only that voice. The journey was long and uncertain. Abram crossed deserts, faced famine, danger, and silent nights filled with doubt. There were moments when his faith wavered. In one of those crises, he lied about Sarai, afraid for his own life. Even then, God did not abandon him. The promise remained alive, even when Abram failed. Time passed, years went by, and the promise seemed increasingly impossible. Abram grew old. Sarai remained barren. From a human perspective, the dream of becoming a great nation was dead. Then God reaffirmed his covenant, taking Abram outside his tent and saying, "Look at the sky and count the stars, if you are able to count them. So shall your descendants be." Abram believed once again, and Scripture says that this faith was credited to him as righteousness. At that moment, something profound happened. God changed his name. Abram, which meant exalted father, became Abraham, father of many nations. Sarai became Sarah, princess. God was declaring a future that did not yet exist, but was already real by faith. Still, the waiting continued. In his impatience, Abraham tried to help God by having a son with Hagar, Sarah's servant. Ishmael was born, but he was not the son of the promise. That decision produced conflict, pain, and division that echo to this day. Even so, God remained faithful to what he had promised. Then, when Abraham was 100 years old and Sarah was 90, the impossible happened. Isaac was born, the child of the promise, the laughter that overcame barrenness, time, and human logic. Everything seemed complete at last, but Abraham's faith would still be tested at the highest level. God asked what Abraham loved most. "Take your son, your only son, whom you love, and offer him as a sacrifice." It was not just Isaac on the altar. It was the promise, the future, the meaning of the entire journey. Without fully understanding, Abraham obeyed. He climbed the mountain in silence, built the altar, bound his son, and raised the knife. At that moment, God stopped him. A ram appeared, caught by its horns. The sacrifice was replaced. It became clear then, God never wanted Isaac's death. He wanted Abraham's heart. He wanted to know if he was still greater than the promise itself. Abraham came down from that mountain changed. He had learned that true faith is not believing only when everything makes sense, but trusting even when everything seems lost. That is why he became known as the father of faith, not because he was perfect, but because he chose to trust. And now, the question remains for us. How many times does God call us to leave what is comfortable and walk by faith, but we hesitate? How many times do we want the promise, but are not willing to trust the God of the promise? If this story spoke to you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs their faith renewed today. And write in the comments, in what area of your life is God calling you to trust more? Because just like Abraham, everything can begin with a single decision of faith.